Bless the name of the Lord. Amen. Amen. What a mighty God we all serve. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. It's time for the programs to go forth.
Amen.
The Black History Month. Whoever has something written.
I'll go first.
Okay, it don't matter. Go ahead. We'll wait on you, Dean. Oh.
I'm going to be reading from my phone. And it's going to be today out by Annie Banks Sims. And I think y'all going to be surprised about this thing. Again, good morning.
Good morning.
Good boy.
Let me get this phone now. Her name is Ann B. Sims Banks. Born 1862, died 1923. Ann Banks was a school teacher from Louisville, later lived in Winchester, Kentucky. In 1920, when women voted in the presidential election for the first time, it was reported that Banks was the first African American female fully accredited delegate of the 7th Congress District Republican Convention, Kentucky. Part of the delegation from Clark County, Banks was appointed as a member of the committee, according to Arthur Roseland Prosper, Pennsylvania. Bart's personal position was the first African American woman in the South became in Kentucky was not to fear for vote takeover of African American. Ann Banks was born near or in Kentucky and the daughter of Isabella Marcus Sims, who were barbers, 1870 to 1880. What they didn't go into saying, Miss Ann Banks was a Republican. The known fact she was a Republican, she was not a Democrat. And she went on to be a school teacher. She went on to do other things too. She loved teaching though, that was her first love. And she loved that women could progress instead of just regressing. And she loved when women were stood up and stood up for the right to vote. She didn't back down, she wasn't scared, and she didn't let what people felt made her back down either. She was the only one.
Amen.
Yes, Ann B. Banks.
Amen. Sister something like that.
Oh, I got my picture on. I can't tell you nothing.
That's an everyday thing.
All right.
Good morning, sir. I first want to say this. I acknowledge the Lord for allowing me to be here again one more time. I thank Him for the many blessings He bestowed on me. But my truly great blessings come from the fact that all these years, a bunch of y'all knew me. Y'all never knew I really came here. But the Lord allowed me to be here for a special reason, for a miracle to show amongst many. But nevertheless, He empowered me to have the knowledge that I now have. And I couldn't figure out which one I really wanted to do, but I'm going to start with Edith Burlock Sampson. Miss Sampson, she married a Sampson. She was born on October 13, 1898. She died October the 8th, 1979. She was an American lawyer and judge, and the first black Jewish delegate appointed to the United Nations on August 24, 1950. And she conceded that black people did not have equal rights in America. Her speech consists of, I'd rather be a Negro in America than a citizen in any other land. In 1925, she had went to law school, and she had won a special dean commemoration for ranking at the top of her judicial class. Her early life consists of she was one of 8 children born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She left school at the age of 14 due to family financial difficulties. And she found work, cleaning and deboning fish at a market. She returned back to school and graduated from Peabody High. She worked for Associated Charity Study in New York School of Social Work. She received a high grade in criminology. One of her instructors encouraged her to become an attorney. So she got married to Rufus Simpson in 1925. They moved to Chicago. She worked full-time in the day as a social worker, and she went to law school at night, and she graduated from John Marshall Law School also in 1925. But when she was going through the law school, she opened up her first law office in Chicago's South Side also from 1925 to 1942. 1927, she was the first woman to earn a Master of Law from Loyola University and passed the Illinois bar exam. 1934, she was admitted to practice. You have to understand, back then, you had to get permission, cause, to be practice or whatever you do. And she also became she also admitted to practice before the Supreme Court. In 1943, she was one of the first black members of National Association of Women's Law, a lawyer firm. 1947, she was appointed assistant state attorney. 1962, she was the first black woman to be elected, as a judge in Illinois. In 1969 to 1978, she regained a lawyer degree, to go back into practicing law, and she worked as a circuit court judge until 1978, and she was known as being a grandma to help like people with poor housing, and they, she made sure that, people were treated equally and fairly in all that they did. And then, like I said, after she retired in 1978, she passed away again in 1979, on October 8, 1979. And I also did Miss Barbara Jordan. The reason why I like Miss Barbara Jordan, she was the first black that ever been on national TV. Her 15 minutes of fame gained her, she has many degrees. I won't go into detail, but what I looked at with Miss Jordan, the reason why I showed her, she was born on February 21st, 1936. She died on January 17th, 1976. She was an American lawyer. Like I said, she was an educator as well. And she was a leader in the civil rights movement. She was a Democrat. She was the first African American elected at the Texas Senate. And after Reconstruction, the first Southern African American woman elected to the United States House of Representatives. She was best known for her eloquent opening statement at the House Jurisdiction Committee hearing during the impeachment process against Richard Nixon. She was, as well, the first African American as well the first woman to deliver a keynote address to the Democratic National Convention. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom among numerous other honors. She was a member of the Peabody Award. She won the Board of Jurors from 1978 to 1980. Again, she was the first African American woman to be buried in the Texas State Cemetery. Like I said, it's so much we could read about Miss Jordan that I also look at the simple fact that when we look at black history, we can really just look in our own backyard.
Man. Next. Who's next?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Rosa Parks. She was the mother of the civil rights movement, made by decision to remain in her seat on a Montgomery, Alabama bus because she didn't believe she should have to move because of her race, excuse me. Even though that was the law back then in them days, I guess. And in the middle of a crowded bus, Miss Party was arrested for her refusal and relinch, I think I'm saying it right, to her seat. So her quote was like at the bottom, like she said, whatever people, you must never be fearful about what you're doing when it's right. Rosa Parks.
Man.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On this Black History Sunday, I would like to give honor to my uncle, Bernell Ramsey. He was the first sheriff of Copiah County. He served only 17 years as deputy sheriff before he became chief sheriff. And this was before the revolution. I can't see in these glasses. And I just want to give y'all a little bit of information about him. Bernell Ramsey is a man of first. Bernell is a man who business and professional life has been filled with first. Seems like I have been the first one to be in a lot of positions. I didn't so much plan it that way. It's just the way that things worked out for me, Ramsey said. Bernell Ramsey was not only the first black sheriff in Copiah County, he was the first to be appointed. That was, get my words mixed up, y'all bear with me. Appointed that position in the state of Mississippi since the construction days. Curious that he was the first black deputy sheriff in Copiah County, a position he held for 17 years, and the first black man to hold a responsible position as the local Royal Maid Company, where he became a supervisor. When Sheriff Earl Gus was elected, he said he wanted me to be a deputy. Ramsey said, I didn't want to be just someone to fill in because I was black. I had always worked hard and done my job as completed. As I could. I told Sheriff Gus I didn't want to be a black deputy sheriff because I've always believed in helping people, and he said, well, here's your chance to do that. Sheriff Gus also said, if you work for me, you will be expected to arrest anyone who violates the law. I found out he was right. I soon learned that why you had to be firm with people. You didn't have to punish them around. You didn't have to push them around unless they really was bad. There's a lot more to the job than just that. And I found that most of the time I was helping people, and being black wasn't a problem for me in Copiah County. People here respected the law and respected those who enforced it. The people in the county had been good to me. Ramsey said,
Ramsey was eventually promoted to sheriff deputy. In the meantime, he attended just about every school there is for a sheriff and deputy sheriff, and others in law enforcement. When Sheriff Gus resigned in 1979, the Board of Supervisors appointed Ramsey sheriff until an election could be held. I agree to not run for the office at that time, Ramsey said. Thomas Jackson was elected and Ramsey continued in the position as chief deputy sheriff, chief deputy on hand for the remaining of the term and for the 2 additional full terms. As chief deputy sheriff, Ramsey investigated and solved a number of complicated cases. A little bit about my Uncle Burnell. Uncle Burnell and his wife, Aunt Beulah, had 9 children. And show you the pictures. And of the 9 children, 8 of them was college graduates. And he had a mentally and physically challenged child, and she in Ellisville, as far as I know, until this day. And
Anybody else? Alright. I'll let Miss Bobby take a seat, then I'll see you. Come on, ladies. I'm about to freeze. Might get heat on. I'm cold. I'm sorry, darling, but I'm about to freeze. Alright. Minnie M. Jetty Cox. She was the first black postmaster in 1869 through 1933. She was an American teacher who was the first black African-American woman to serve as the postmaster in the United States. She became the center of a national controversy in the early 1900s when local white citizens attempted to force her out of her job. I have another one named Mary Eliza Mahoney. She was the first African-American woman to complete nurses training in the U.S. Mary Mahoney was the first African-American to study and work as a professional trained nurse in the United States, and she graduated in 1879. Amen. That complete our Black History program for today. Amen. Let's give each and every one of us a hand clap. Amen.